السلام عليكم، أهلا وسهلا إلى حلقة جديدة. السلام عليكم، أنا مع أنيسة. كيف حالك يا أنيسة؟
الحمد لله بخير.
How's everything?
Yeah, good. الحمد لله.
Good.
وكيف أنت؟
الحمد لله كل شيء تمام الحمد لله. In today's episode we have a chat with Omar. Literally I met this guy off the street. So we were at a protest and he was in the train and he saw this protest that was going on.
Wow.
I'm not going to say which protest it is. It's kind of obvious which protest it is. But for Omar's sake, I'm not going to mention it. He saw the protest and he was like, jumped out straight away and just joined this protest. Wow. So we had a lovely chat. He was from Egypt, but interestingly, his formal Arabic FuS7a was amazing and he loved to chat. So we had dinner and then I was like, bro, let's have a chat. And if you can come on my podcast. So he was very kind in coming on this podcast. So we're going to, again, intermediate episode, but we're going to have a chat to Omar, inshallah. And then afterwards, for those of you who are perhaps didn't follow the whole conversation, Nish and I are going to do a bit of a wrap up. And we'll just highlight some words and phrases that we felt was interesting as per normal.
Yep.
You ready? All right, let's do it. حبيبي أهلا وسهلا يا حبيبي.
أهلا وسهلا.
كيفك؟
الحمد لله.
اسمك كريم؟
عمر.
عمر، أنت من وين؟
أنا من مصر.
من مصر، أهلا وسهلا بك. ماذا تفعل هنا؟
جئت للدراسة لمدة 5 أشهر.
ما شاء الله، بس 5 أشهر؟
5 أشهر فقط.
وبعدين؟
إن شاء الله إذا قدر الله آتي مجددا.
ما شاء الله. أنت تتحدث فصحى يعني ما شاء الله. ليس كثير مصريين يتكلمون بالفصحى.
أجل كان يعني الفضل هذا يرجع إلى طفولتي حيث كنت أتفرج على الكثير من المسلسلات الكرتونية باللغة العربية الفصحى.
وتعلمت من الكرتونات؟
أجل
والله؟
أجل
مش من مدرسة؟
لا يعني تعلمت أيضا من المدرسة ولكن الانتويشن
نعم
كان من المسلسلات الكرتونية.
ما شاء الله.
حتى لو لم أمارس النحو وهذه الأشياء منذ فترة
من
أستطيع يا أجل.
سبحان الله. هل لماذا معظم المصريين كأنهم يكرهون الفصحى أو لا يحبون يتكلمون بالفصحى بدلا من لهجتهم؟
لا أدري سببا محددا ولكن يمكن أن يكون بسبب أن هناك بعض الحروف والعبارات في اللغة العربية الفصحى التي قد يصعب نطقها في الحياة اليومية. أجل يعني يوجد بعض الحروف التي تختصر. نقول بدل القاف.
نعم.
مثلا.
نعم.
برقوق نقول عليه برقوق.
برقوق.
بعض أحيانا يكون هذا أسهل للنطق.
هل أي شخص هناك هل يتحدثون بالفصحى في الشوارع مثلا؟
في الشوارع
لا أبدا.
لا يوجد أحد يتحدث في الشوارع وكذلك الأمر في كل الدول العربية. كل دولة لها لهجتها.
نعم. ولكن بين المتكلمين وفي أكاديمية أو
أيضا لا يتحدثون اللغة العربية الفصحى إما العامية ويعني أحيانا يعني مثلا في أعتقد أن في مجلس الشعب يتحدثون أحيانا باللغة العربية الفصحى وأحيانا يتحدثون باللغة العامية. يعني بعض النواب أحيانا يتحدثون باللغة العربية الفصحى في مجلس الشعب مثلا.
تمام. بس لو واحد يريد أن يتعلم اللغة العربية ما رأيك يعني هل يحتاج أن يتعلم الفصحى أو لهجة مثلا مصرية أو لبنانية أو حسب المنطقة؟
إذا كان مسلما عليه أن يتعلم اللغة العربية الفصحى لأجل القرآن.
نعم.
ولكن لكي أجل ولأنها أيضا هي لغة جميلة حقا.
نعم. أكيد.
ولكن إذا كان سيعيش في أحد البلدان العربية فعليه غالبا أن يتحدث بلهجة معينة. يفضل أن تكون بلهجة البلد التي سيسكنها ولكن كل شخص واختياره. بعض الناس ترى أن اللهجة المصرية من أسهل اللهجات، البعض يختلف مثلك، أنت ترى أنها صعبة، ولكن سمعت من البعض أن اللهجة المصرية من أسهل اللهجات التي يمكنك تعلمها إذا لم تكن تتحدث العربية أصلا، لأنها سهلة تدفق الكلمات فيها طبيعي.
سهل علشان المسلسلات والموسيقى ولكن إذا هم لا يسمعون أي موسيقى من أو لا يشاهدوا أي مسلسلات.
أعتقد أن سهولة اللهجة المصرية في بساطتها وفي أنها الحرف الأسهل نطقه انطق.
نعم.
لا عليك من
بس واحد يعني أنتم تتكلمون بالسرعة.
أجل
صح ولا لا؟
أجل.
ما شاء الله حبيبي، تشرفنا حبيبي. شكرا جزيلا. إن شاء الله.
العفو.
شوفك الله معك.
الله معك.
All right, Nissa, what did you think of that conversation?
It was really good. Yeah, mashallah. Like he was very enthusiastic, talking about the use of language and how, more people should learn FuS7a and it was very interesting to listen to.
So what was interesting is that he came here literally 5 months ago just to study. So he's fresh, right? So fresh, straight from, and what was interesting for me is I asked him the question that, does anybody speak formal Arabic over there? Mm-hmm. And what did you think of his response?
He was pretty emphatic in saying, no, nobody speaks formal Arabic.
So basically no one speaks on the streets.
Yeah. And that's what you asked him. You were like, wow, your FuS7a is really good. Like you haven't come across many Egyptians that like to speak FuS7a. And what's the reason for that?
Look, it's just from my experience, when I speak to Egyptians, and perhaps it's because they're so proud of their dialect. Mm-hmm. And the dialect, I guess, in the whole Sharq al-Awsat, in the Middle East, most people understand the Egyptian dialect. Mm-hmm. It's probably the most common. So it's probably for that reason they would, I guess, prefer to speak their dialect as opposed to formal Arabic.
Sure, yeah.
But when I speak to my experience with Egyptians, and correct me if I'm wrong, they have a bit of a giggle when you talk to them in FuS7a. It's kind of funny to them. So, that whole Sadaqallahu al-Azim effect. Mm-hmm. So that's just my experience. But you do get some, obviously, Omar, that really likes to talk it. And I use that opportunity to have this conversation with him. But he was saying that, anywhere you go in the world, anywhere you go in the Arab world, basically they don't speak FuS7a.
Yeah, yeah.
So as I was asking these questions, before that, he said kind of a word which I thought was interesting, mujaddadan. Mm-hmm. Mujaddadan basically means he was going to come, he'll come again to Australia if Allah wills.
Mm-hmm. And then I think when you were asking him about how he maintains his FuS7a, he was saying umaris, like I practice, right? And what was interesting was how because you asked him, did you learn it at school? And where did he say he learnt it?
From cartoons, from Arabic cartoons.
And not just kids cartoons.
Yeah, kids cartoons. So he learned all his FuS7a, not from school, but from cartoons. So, Anissa, do you have any cartoon recommendations?
I don't know. I guess there's lots now that are available that you can watch that are dubbed, normal cartoons and stuff. But I guess when I think back to some, I guess, more or sort of authentic cartoons that are actually made, co-produced by Arabs, it was one that I know started out in the late 70s, which was Iftah Ya Simsim. It was it co-produced with members from the Arab world, but also with the Muppet Workshop people. And so they had their own characters, they had their own, Arab names and everything. And what's interesting was, it started in the late 70s, and then there was one sort of iteration of it until the late 80s, and then it stopped, and then it started again 2015 and ended again in 2019. And then there was a new form that came out, it's called Ahlan Simsim. So Iftah Ya Simsim means open sesame. So it had that link with Sesame Street. And then this new iteration in 2020 is called Ahlan Simsim. And I looked it up because I was really intrigued by it. And so the original series was in modern standard Arabic. But then the new series, the Ahlan Simsim, is in dialects, and it's directed towards, displaced children from Syria, Lebanon, due to crisis, due to civil war, that kind of thing. And it was focusing on emotional sort of development and helping them with, recognizing and dealing with their emotions. So that's it's good to see that. So I guess in the sense, there's always lots of translated and dubbed cartoons, but these ones are kind of ones that are co-produced, that showcases, the culture and the heritage of the Arab world.
And also, back in the day, I think if you look at, Aladdin and all those stuff, they were typically in the Egyptian dialect.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think probably 10 years ago, they shifted to modern standard Arabic. And I remember we used to teach our kids or watch Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, yeah.
I think we memorized that whole movie basically in Arabic. And we used to watch it on the DVDs back in the day because we're that old.
Yeah.
And what was interesting is that, and I remember using phrases from Kung Fu Panda in lectures, in talks that I would give. And I remember
in Arabic.
Yeah, in Arabic. So, in Kung Fu Panda, I don't know if you remember, when at the end, when that snow leopard guy, he's taking out all the teams, he's like smashing them, and they're on that bridge.
Yep, the rope.
For those of you who watch Kung Fu Panda, definitely watch it in Arabic and check out this. You know this scene. And he comes and he flips over and he lands and he's like, and the team is trying to take him out, right? And he says something, I can't remember exactly, but he said something like, إِنَّ مُعَلِّمُكَ قَدْ عَلَّمَكُمْ كَثِيرَ أَشْيَاءٍ وَلَكِنْ هَذَا لَيْسَ مَا يَكْفِي. And he said basically, your teacher has taught you many things, but that is not enough. And so I used this when I gave a talk. I was asked to give a talk to all these Iraqi central bankers. And I gave it in Arabic. And I remember I used this phrase and I said, in reference to Islamic financing. So I said, I think I said something like, إن ولاية الفيكتوريا قد غيرت بعض قوانين فيما يتصل بالتمويل الإسلامي ولكن هذا ليس ما يكفي. So basically, indeed, the state of Victoria has changed certain laws in relation to Islamic financing, but
that is not enough.
That is not enough. So you can use the phrases from these cartoons in your day-to-day life. One area where he said that FuS7a is used, perhaps, is in the Majlis al-Sha'b.
Yeah.
Can you explain what that is?
So that refers to like a people sitting, or like more commonly known as like a parliament.
Or a people's assembly. And he mentioned that some of the Nawab use FuS7a and some use Ammiya.
That's representatives,
yeah.
Right?
So Nawab is representatives. He also mentioned nutq, which is an interesting word. Can you explain what that means?
Yeah, I guess it refers to like pronunciation.
Yeah.
And how people are able to kind of like pronounce different dialects or pronounce aspects of the language.
Natiq or nutuq. It's interesting that nutuq pronunciation is a hard word in itself to pronounce.
It is.
So try that one.
Nutuq.
Then I asked the question, like, if someone wants to learn Arabic, should they learn FuS7a or Ammiya? Yeah. And what was his response?
He was saying that for Muslims, they should learn FuS7a. And what was the phrase he used? لِأَجَلِ الْقُرْآنِ.
Yep.
For the sake of the Quran.
Yep.
And then obviously if they wanted to kind of, learn the language to talk to people, then the dialect works better. But yeah, that phrase لِأَجَلِ الْقُرْآنِ is a good phrase.
And what was the dialect that he recommended that people learn?
He was suggesting Egyptian.
What was his rationale?
He was saying that it's for non-Arab speakers, that it's an easy dialect to start off with.
And again, it's because of this nutuq. It's easy to pronounce. So the qaf, typically in Egyptian, they say is a alif.
Yeah, yeah.
Cow would be?
Normally in modern standard, it would be baqara.
Yeah.
But in Egyptian, it would be baqra.
And for those of you who are not familiar with Egyptian, it's actually Egyptian. Is how do they pronounce the jim? So how would they say beautiful, for example?
So instead of jamil, they'd say gamil.
Gamil. How do you say really beautiful?
Gamil jiddan.
Gamil jiddan.
Or gamil awi.
Awi. قوي, أوي. So you can see how some of the harder letters are not pronounced.
Yeah.
One of the words that he used when he was explaining was غالبا. What does that mean?
So غالبا here means often.
Yep. And I think the other word which I thought was interesting was تدفق. تدفق is basically the flow. تدفق. And he was talking about the flow and ease of the language.
Again, that's another hard word to say, تدفق,
تدفق.
which doesn't flow very easily off the tongue.
So they would probably say تدفق. Yeah? All right, cool. Shukran jazilan, Anisa.
عفوا.
And inshallah, we will catch you for the next episode.
إن شاء الله.
مع السلامة.
مع السلامة.